Hi, it's me, Dr. KT, and welcome to Odd Duck Science. Today we're going to answer an age-old question. Why does my body feel achy when I contract the common cold, flu, or any other respiratory virus, including coronavirus, also known as COVID-19? The answer is simple. It lies within the immune system. The immune system is amazing and that its total development is to make sure that we're protected from pathogens. I know you're going to say, Dr. KT, what is a pathogen? So glad that you asked. A pathogen is a disease causing organism. So that can be a fungi, that can be bacteria, or that can be a virus. And any of those things that are trying to infiltrate our body wants no parts of it. And so, specifically in the immune system, it's divided into two divisions to help defeat whatever pathogen comes along. So, we have the innate immune system and we have the adaptive immune system. Now, the adaptive immune system is very specific and it takes some time, but it works well. Now, the innate immune system is non-specific and very fast. Now, how do they interact? How do they know when something is present that does not belong? So, if we take a look at my body, Dr. KT cells should be floating around at all times. When something like coronavirus shows up, the innate immune system, whose head is always on a swivel and checking to see Dr. KT cells, if it doesn't see it and it sees something foreign, it's going to throw everything under the kitchen sink at it because it's not specific. So its main purpose is to destroy and to kill it and to get it out of my body. Now, the way that the innate immune system does this is through white blood cells that are called leukocytes. So in the textbook, you'll see it as leukocytes, but it means white blood cells. And white blood cells can be broken down into several different characteristics based on what they do. So you have neutrophils, you have lymphocytes, you have monocytes, you have eosinophils, and you have basophils. And I'm going to teach you a cute little acronym to make you memorize it for now, but learn it later. Never let monkeys eat bananas. Okay? Now, of those cells, we're going to talk about three today. We're going to talk about basophils, eosinophils, and neutrophils. I like to call them Ben. Like Uncle Ben's rice is very grainy. If you look at these three cells under the microscope, you'll see that basophils, eosinophils, and neutrophils have a grainy appearance. And the reason being is because there are chemicals inside of them. Some called cytokines, some called histamines, and many more. And they are sitting inside of that cell. Now, when the coronavirus comes in or the flu, what happens is those cells begin to pounce on the pathogen and attach to it, and they burst open. As they burst open, they're going to release those chemicals like histamine and cytokines. Why do we care? Well, how does that matter? How does that affect me? Well, what happens when histamine is released, we become very leaky. That means our eyes are watering, our nose is running. We are snotting and coughing because what is going on is the innate immune system is trying to make it so that the virus, the bacteria, the fungi, the pathogen is unhappy. It does not want to make it a comfortable environment. And so, as it's doing all of these things to create an uninhabitable or uncomfortable environment, it's pushing it out. So, it's pushing it out through our watery eyes and through our leaky nose. And as it's pushing all of these fluids and it's kind of bouncing around from cell to cell, trying to see if there are any more, they end up hitting some pain receptors. Now, we have pain receptors in our muscles and as well as in our joints. And that's what causes the achiness. And once the achiness starts to happen, we end up in something called sickness symptoms or sickness fatigue. And what that is, we don't feel like doing anything. And that's a great thing. And the reason being is because it takes so much energy to fight off pathogens. Our body would prefer if we would lay down so that it could conserve energy and divert most of it to fighting to make sure that we're better. Now, let's apply the odd duck method to what I just described. Let's do the 3Ds. So decode, what is going on? Why do I feel achy when I contract one of those viruses or one of those pathogens? Simple. My innate immune system is going to work. My innate immune system is making sure that anything that is foreign inside of me gets pushed out. And it's going to do it with leukocytes, also known as white blood cells. And in the midst of that, all of that leakiness that occurs when Ben is released, that inflammation storm that occurs, it's going to hit some pain receptors. So I'm going to be a casualty. Some of my muscles and joints are going to be a casualty in this process. The second D, let's diversify. Why does that matter? How does that matter to my community? Most often, when we see people of color, Black people, as well as brown people and women, what we see is we often don't get a chance to rest when we're supposed to. Our body always tells us what it needs, and oftentimes we don't listen. If we will lay down or sat down, as my grandmother would say, it would give our body the chance to really fight off the pathogen, allow us to heal, and give us all of the energy back that we need to continue on our day to day basis. The last D, dazzle. How do I take what I just learned and spread it to others? Because what? Science is accessible to everyone. The last D, that dazzle, I would say it as one of my nieces would tell me. When the innate immune system sees a pathogen, it's on sight. It's a knuck if you buck situation. It is a last man standing. So, to say all of this, I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you also remember science is accessible to everyone. Until next time, have a glorious day.